good day, good afternoon. It all depends on where you're located. Back here yet again. Madden, USFL League Presents, the Owner's Box. Episode 39. My co-host in the top right box, we got Ty. And in the bottom box, we got our special guest this evening.
Yeah.
He's actually stepped out for a second, but it's the Cardinals. There he is. The comeback cards, as he likes to call himself. I know him as Drew. I know him as Drew. Some know him as Little Boone. He goes by many names. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm watching Candyman San Diego Chargers take on Cletus J's New York Jets, 12-7 in the second quarter. Chargers are up. Cletus is driving. He's on San Diego's 32-yard line with 57 seconds left in the game. And we all know Cletus is notorious for always ensuring he gets that score right before the half and making it to where you can't. So
yeah,
it's not going to really surprise me for Cletus to at least get 3 out of this.
Okay, cool. I want to start the show off first and foremost. Drew, appreciate you coming on.
Never mind. Interception.
Appreciate you coming on, man. But just give, for those who don't know, who probably, the new owners, man, give us a quick background real quick of your Madden resume, as I like to call it. How long you been in it? How many CFMs?
I think I really just started probably in 16 or 17. I think my brother introduced me to it. Like competitively, I've usually played a computer or just play friends and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm currently in 4 leagues, but I'm using 2 of the other leagues as kind of practice leagues to work out kinks for my other 2 leagues, which includes this one. And I like it. It keeps the competitive spirit going because, Madden can burn you out. And although I'm in 4 different leagues, I don't play 4 different games in one day. So I may play 2 games and watch a couple of games or something like that. But
okay. All right, cool. Well, give me your thoughts, on the USFL compared to your other leagues that you're in.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Then Andy got Phillip Rivers in the X Factor and Melvin Gordon at the same time, bro.
It's crazy.
Right?
Now I was saying, explain, your thoughts on the USFL compared to your other leagues. How do we hold up? How's the competition and things like that?
It's definitely more competitive than most of my other leagues that I'm in. I'm also in the UG League with you guys, and I feel USFL is still more competitive because a lot of us are in that one. But I don't know. I just think top to bottom it's a rough game every week. That you don't have too many people that you're just blowing out by 40 plus points weekly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was one of the episodes you guys did. I think Ty mentioned just because somebody may be 1-7, they can still put up 30 points on you. You might just get 31, but there's tough games out here.
Yeah, for sure. Which we'll talk about a little later, but just a couple upsets that games where I thought people who had the easy win, took a couple losses. So, for sure. So, Todd, let's start it off, man, with the Super Bowl and the off-season recap, man. We want to talk about the Super Bowl. I was trying to get Super Bowl winner actually on here, and I'll get him for the next show. I know he works this late. But give me your thoughts, man, on the Super Bowl and the season, and then Cards, give me your thoughts on the season and the Super Bowl as well.
My thoughts on the first season or thoughts on the second season?
No, year one.
Year one was interesting. It's kind of what I expected. In terms of, I knew not everybody would be firing on cylinders, which is why I've often said, oh, man, wow, excuse me, I'm sorry. Candy just broke back a kick return. It was sick the way he did it because that guy ain't that fast. But back to what we were saying, what surprised me in a good way was more people were sharper earlier than I thought. Normally, you might have a few people like Tick always jumps out early. Don Joe jumps out early. You always seem to be early, Candy. But I felt like between some of the wily vets like the guys like you guys that I just named, and then some of the new guys jumping in right out the fire pit and into the fire. It was a lot of good early competition. Some people, it took Boone a while to get going. I didn't quite get going. Bill didn't quite get going. Ronnie didn't quite get going. Paya didn't quite get going. So I just anticipate going. Drew didn't quite get going. So I already know as we get into 2, 3, and 4, it's really going to be hard out there for Pimp. But I thought it was a great first season, maybe one of the best first seasons I've seen in this league. In terms of the Super Bowl, I thought arguably the 2 best teams all year have been there. You could, in the NFC, it was clearly Dre, Rico, and I think your boy Bucks. Toward the end, I think it was the 3 heads of the class. It doesn't mean that guys like Truck and stuff like that didn't have a good season. They wanted divisions and did, but I felt like the consistent beasts were Rico, Dre, and your boy Skills, the Bucks. So Dre going, you came on late, Gates, but not too late. But once you got rolling after 2 and 3, you was a beast. So arguably, you could argue that Candy and Chiefs were the 2 best teams all season, but Cletus was nipping on their heels. You was nipping on their heels. So for you to actually pull it out and keep that run going, I thought it was great. The Super Bowl surprised me. I thought it'd be a little closer. I also thought it was funny that the one thing that you preached, owners box in and out about ball security, was one of your major undoings. But I did talk to you about it, and you said you were on conservative, and if you were on conservative, embracing the hits, and that still happened, then there's not much you can do about that. Great Super Bowl, great first season. That's my thoughts. Congratulations to you on being the AFC champ, and congrats to Dre for winning it all.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Drew, any comments before I get mine? Any comments? Is there any comments before I give mine about year 1 from your perspective?
Yeah. Year 1, it was surprising for me to see a lot of people active, fighting hard, playing hard. A lot of games coming down to the wire. Dre played a phenomenal season. Obviously, he did win a Super Bowl. I'm glad it came back to my division, but it puts a lot of pressure on everybody else in my division and in the conference as a whole. But I think it was a good first season. I hope it's a stepping stone to this season. Everybody keeps the competitive spirit and fire going, and we just see if we can get a new champion this year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so for me, like year 1 was it was interesting, man. It was good to see like the Moondogs jump out early, Truck jumping out early. A couple teams jumped out early. I think the Rams had a great season. John the Bullet really impressed me because I didn't know who he was. The Bucks coming in, taking that team, making a great run that he did was very impressive. On the NFC side, on the AFC side, Chiefs held it down for a while. Candyman, of course, did what he was supposed to do. He always does. Pie was a shock to me not getting, hitting on all cylinders early. My division was pretty much myself, was just being dominant. And then the AFC East was very, very competitive. It was good to see Cletus be tested by Don Joe and then Strong beating him twice. And the playoffs, for me, it was a lot of adjusting, trying to figure it out. And then the Super Bowl, Dre just played a great game. I felt like that game got away from me. I just tried to really impose my will on him. And he just wasn't having it. He was playing so conservative. And I knew that that's his play style. Even Ty, remember you called me after the game, like, yo, you got to play him that ugly way where he plays conservative or whatever. But that was pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, shout out to the NFC. Didn't bring it back home for the AFC. But it's always this season. So Ty, I wanted to do look something a little different and call them like the Owners Box Awards. In my opinion, give me your coach of the year. I know Madden or whatever decided or whatever, but I want to know your opinion. Like who in your opinion was the coach of the year? Like who had a great run?
Yeah, we're talking about the first season?
Yeah.
Candyman?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, people had some great seasons, but bell to bell, not only was Candy dominant, he was consistent. I mean, the guy lost one regular season game, and it was to arguably one of the better players in season one. And obviously, he lost the playoff game, but it was to a hot Gates, who's a Super Bowl worthy competitor. So if you just take in a fact consistency, because typically these awards don't factor in the preseason, Candyman to me was Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I would easily say that as well. I mean, it was just effortless. He was just winning games back to back to back to back with no problems. Even the tough ones that he thought he was going to lose, he still pulled them out. So I also agree with that.
Before Drew goes, I do have an honorable mention. And this guy said it as a joke, but when I really thought about it, my honorable mention is Boone. It's Drew's little brother. The reason why, you know what? Boone started out 1-4, 1-5 at one time. And at that point in time, most people, they're packing it in, they're plotting their draft board, they're tanking the rest of the way. That guy's in a tough division with Tick, Niji, and C-Dub, the new Vikings owner. And that guy clawed and he scratched and he fought and he bit. He inherited a horrible garbage cap that most people would crumble under. He got under the cap and he made a playoff push. And if it wasn't for an unfortunate loss toward the end, that guy's in the playoffs after starting out 1-5. So my honorable mention is Boone.
Yeah, I agree. If he'd have been to the playoffs and then made it like the NFC Championship or something crazy, he'd have easily been Coach of the Year, especially after the start that he had.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Drew? Anything? In your opinion?
I give it to Miami. What
Sounds
that
well.
team he had, the competitive
Yes.
every week, and I mean, looking at their roster, you don't see anything. You don't see nobody that just stands out to you. And for him to be competitive and be in every game week in, week out, and win most of his games, that was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, played me in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Played me tough too. Round one of the playoffs with that team.
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, to be honest, I still think Candy was clear cut. But if Boone got that award or if Don Joe did, I wouldn't complain. There's solid cases for both of those guys.
Yeah. Who was your most improved? Who do you think was your most improved player this season?
You mean like coach wise?
Yeah, user wise. Yep. Most improved user.
I think that's too early.
Yeah, because not only that, I don't think nobody jumped out. Like the people that were successful, people that are normally successful that you expect. When I think of most improved user, I'm thinking Strong 2 years ago where he went from nothing to something. That's what I'm thinking. And I didn't really see anybody like that. Okay. If I had a gun in my head and I had to give it to somebody, I give it to Truck. And the reason why I give it to Truck in the Redskins, you know what? Truck was an afterthought in the NFCs. It was thought Mo. Granted, everybody knows I start slow and I had a garbage team. Mo had a stacked team, but nobody really factored in considered Truck. And nobody would argue or say that Truck's a heavy hitter. He stumbled sometimes during the season, but what I really liked was he played really solid. He did enough to win that division. It wasn't just gifted to him. He played some good, tough games, and he has a good scheme and style going on there. So if I had to give it to somebody for most improved, I'd give it to Truck.
Yeah, Truck. I mean, knowing Truck from like Madden 18 to how he plays to Madden 19 into this first year, this one, he did have a big improvement. I mean, he used that against team to their advantage with Geis. He put all on Geis's back, won a division, went to the playoffs. I thought he was going to go a little deeper than he did, but he just came up against a good team, not to take away from him. On the NFC side, I could say he's most improved. I think on the AFC side, I mean, I think Don Joe did a hell of a job with that Dolphins team.
But is Don Joe most improved? Don Joe's a perennial playoff dude. Like Don Joe making the playoffs is like the sun coming up tomorrow in California. Like most improved to me is that guy that kind of came out of nowhere, that wasn't factored in, it wasn't expected.
Well, could we say that the Chiefs then, the Jayhawk guy?
No, because you haven't been around. But Lincoln Hector, I told you before you played him, hey man, you better strap it in, bro. Like, I know you don't know about dude. It's like John the Bullet, right?
Yeah.
Just because you won't know about him doesn't make him not good.
Yeah.
I respect you saying, hey, well, I don't know what they can do, so I'm not going to give them their props. But I've been here. I ain't went nowhere. I know what them dudes is working with.
Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about
Well, what is Drew think?
What do you think, Drew?
Most improved.
Well, as we say, it's too early. Who do you think jumped out? Who jumped out to you, as you guys put it, worded it?
What?
Who jumped out to you this season?
Like season 1 or just season we in now?
Just season 1. I mean, we're only in week 2 of this season, so this year, rather.
Right. I didn't really pay attention to many people that it was just it's shocking that they were just doing that well. So I'm gonna go with the obvious, Dre. Because Dre usually makes his playoff runs, but I don't know. It was just I had to go with the obvious. I didn't pay too much attention to how people were struggling and coming over struggles and who've been to playoff seasons past before that or not, because I had a whole bunch that I was dealing with my team. So I couldn't really focus on too many people.
Okay.
But I had to just get the obvious for default, just Dre, just to give an answer.
Okay. Who you think had the best offense and defense? Go ahead. Drew, you can go first.
Oh. Best offense, I would give it to I like the Rams offense. It's simple, but it killed me both times. I mean, I think one game he put up 37, which seemed like it was easy, like too easy. And as far as defense goes, somebody I just could not get past, or just in general, I say that's tough. Oh, that's tough. Come back to me on defense. Let me think about that. But offense, I like the Rams offense.
Okay. Ty, what about you? Best offense, best defense?
I thought I had a clear-cut answer for best offense, but I actually have a tie. And I don't know if you guys think that's cheesy, but I call it the way I see it. Best offense, Candyman. That dude's run game with Melvin Gordon, it's like Jordan in the fourth quarter. You know it was coming. You knew who was getting the ball. You couldn't stop it. And it wasn't like he was just barely squeaking out 80 and 90 yards. The dude was consistently putting up 200 and 300 yards. I want to say Melvin Gordon broke touchdown records. So at first I thought it was clearly him. But when I thought about it, you tied with him. And I'm going to tell you why your passing game, once you got rolling, was a beast to stop. And when you look at how many dudes you converted into X factors and got trait upgrades, that speaks to how potent your offense was. You had multiple dudes offensively up for multiple awards. You can argue that Kenny had the most prolific run game, but wasn't nobody screaming in here about his passing attack. You had the Sean Watson up for awards. You had Will Fuller up for awards. You had D Hop out there. So I would say you and Candy tied for the best offense. Defensively, there was a lot of good defenses. I don't think there was one person that necessarily had that lock 'em up, rock 'em, sock 'em robot defense. But I'm going to come with a sleeper pick. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Michael Corey, your boy's skills. He's a solid adjuster. He is a solid user. The Bucs don't have stars all over the place, and that dude has the most devastating hit stick in this entire league. And his hit stick changed many a game. So while they may not have had the greatest stats, they were a factor. Every single time that dude's on defense, he can change the game with a hit stick or a user. So if I had to give it offense, you and Candy tied for offense, and on defense, we're giving it your boy skill with the Bucs.
Okay. It's crazy because I actually had I think I had the number 1 and 2, like number 1 defense, number 2 offense. I think me and Kenny did have the best offense because I didn't really run as much. He didn't really pass as much. But if you combine them together,
Yes.
it would have been crazy. You know, I think my offense went under the radar. Like,
real quick, Gates, though, in your defense, let me tell you something why I changed from Candy being clipped to more than you. If for whatever reason you could figure out a way to stop Melvin Gordon, you can solve that riddle in effect.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you going to contain Deshaun and Will and D-Hop? Like that's why you have to be there. Forget the stats too. You use those guys the right way, and there's too many different things you got to worry about. You can go into a Candy game saying, "Hey man, I got to deal with Melvin Gordon." You got to go into a Gates game going, "Shit, I got to give him something."
Yeah, and I think I appreciate the compliments. I mean, it's crazy. My stats did last year were so crazy. I didn't even know they were like that. I was just so focused on just trying to put points up. I think the best D for me, I think the Dolphins had the best D. Like, he had for the longest time like a no-fly zone happening in Miami. Like, them dudes were everywhere. Like, even when I played them, he would like pick me off a couple of times. Like, yo, these dudes are on everything moving. Whether they picked him off or not, they were swatting stuff. He had them defensive guys looking like, you know, little Dion's out there. That would be my opinion on that. I did want to ask you guys who you think had the best offseason as far as moves go, trades, drafts, you know, just at the end of the season, not like during the whole season, but just like the offseason after the Super Bowl. Who you think had the best draft or made the best moves on the free agency?
Why don't you go first and Drew go second? I'll go last.
I think the best draft goes to the Bears, in my opinion. Boone made a questionable move to get that 3rd pick, but he actually turned into his favor. He had a bunch of other picks, and like late in the 4th, 5th round, he was still getting 70 rated players, where other guys were picking 50s and 60s. You know what I'm saying? I think he had the best draft. I think Drew got a steal, and I know he paid a pretty penny for him with Byron Jones. I was really shocked to see Dak Prescott make it all the way through free agency. I know Paya also paid some money too, but I think they had the best 2. And Ty, you even got a steal. You know what I'm saying? I think you wanted to get some players in free agency, but them numbers were kind of high. Like, I went to go just to entertain a couple picks, and they were like people, and they were like the contracts were so astronomical. I was like, I'm out of this bidding war. I don't want no parts of these bidding wars right here. So I think, to be honest, Drew, Paya, and I think you got a good steal with free agency. And Bears, in my opinion, had the best draft overall. You know, Cletus had a lot of early picks, but I think overall, Bears had the best draft.
Yeah, I would agree with the draft. Brother, it's my brother and older brother, so he was telling me about a lot of the players he picked. And as far as free agency, I do think I feel like I had the best free agency. Yeah, I paid Byron Jones quarterback money, but for the defense that I'm trying to run, it was worth it. He's worth it. And I did pick up AJ Green as well. So, and I made a move to get Robert Woods from the Rams in a trade. So I beefed up my defense, and what's the word I'm looking for? I made my offense better. Because if you saw the offense that I had last year, it just wasn't. Sometimes it was an embarrassment. But I feel like we got over that stepping stone. So I like my free agency.
Okay. Ty?
A few people come to mind. I don't think the offseason is just about the draft or free agency. To me, it's a combination of both. If I had a gun to my head, I'm going Paya first. Yeah, Byron Jones is nice. You can argue Ronald Darby is just as good. And in addition to Ronald Darby, that dude also picked up Miles Jack, and I want to say he picked up another stud. So when you combine that with what that dude already has, it's disgusting. I think arguably he and you have the 2 best teams. It's not even close on paper. You can debate which one of the 2 it is. I would even almost maybe give that dude the edge over you. Like, I think that dude has the best team on paper in the league. You're second. He's got shit everywhere. So I put him low key, the Dallas Cowboys. Mundo. He did some weird shit that I didn't understand.
But it worked.
It worked, right? Like, let's look at this. He let Byron Jones go and Dak Prescott. I'm thinking this dude must not be available for free agency to draft when he fell asleep at the wheel. But low key, without nobody knowing, the dude hopped in free agency and picked up Dante Fowler, who's a beast. And the dude picked up a really stout DT, and I forget who it is, but it's a big name dude. And I'm like, what? Tyrone Crawford's pretty solid. Why did he do that? Oh, Michael Brockers from the Rams. So he picked up Dante Fowler and Michael Brockers. Then he turned around after free agency and still got Dak Prescott back after he let him go. So the dude only lost Byron Jones, but he wound up picking up Brockers, Fowler, and getting Prescott back. So I'm putting that dude up there. And then low key, I kind of think I had a good off season. I don't think better than Paya's, but having a team with no talent and being able to finagle with Bears and Boone to get Leonard Floyd, an all-pro caliber potential guy, Yannick Ngakoue, a beast from Jacksonville, and then get the best tackle in the draft, it really helps me solidify my squad. And then it's not preseason, but still working on something, Sammy Watkins in addition. And then I do think you got to look at what Boone and the Bears did with the sheer amount of draft picks he had, because what Boone did low-key wasn't just about acquiring draft picks. It was about riding his cap, which we're going to talk about later. So he did double damage. He cleaned his cap up and got it manageable and acquired a ton of young talent. So those were the people I looked at and said, okay, they did work.
Okay. And that's funny, though. Let's lead right into that, because that's the name of this episode. It's actually called No Cap. And I know you wanted to speak on that, so I'll let you, speak on that. The cap sound.
I'm gonna try to keep it brief. But the reason I called you today and said I wanted to do the show was because I think there's a lot of miseducation about the cap. First, really quickly, I'll address a conversation I had with Flex 980, the Seahawks. His thing is, man, y'all guys are trying to be real NFL-ish, and he wasn't getting why we're dead set on keeping rosters at 53. So I'll tell you what the commissioner's thoughts is on why we feel that way. This league is a simulation franchise league, meaning we try as best as we can to somewhat mirror real NFL action. We're never going to get it right. We get it. We understand it. At the same time, you can't run around in the NFL with a 20-man roster, because let me tell you what it affects. If we don't require people to stay at 53, let's use your team, for example. You're loaded with stars. Well, if you could keep your team together by only fielding 35 people and not paying fillers and backups and scrubs, you could hoard your talent and never get rid of people, because you don't have to be up to 53. Keeping you at 53 makes it honest to where you can't hold on to everybody, which is true in the real NFL. That's one. Secondarily, I don't know in this Madden if it's the same, but in previous Maddens, like if you had one fullback and you didn't have any backups for him and that fullback was in the game, he couldn't get injured because you didn't have a backup. So that was the other reason why we make people fill all these positions, because if the positions aren't filled, you won't lose people due to injury, which gives you an unfair advantage. So that's why we do it. Now, in terms of the cap, me and you talked about this earlier, and I know people would think, oh, well, I don't get why people don't know the cap. There's a big difference between being a fan of the game and watching your favorite team play and understanding the business behind your favorite team's actions. A lot of people work at jobs. It doesn't mean because you work at a job, you understand what the CEO of the company does. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference there. You know what your company does. You know what your role is and what your job is, because that's what's easily evident. You don't see and know what the CEO is doing. That's how the cap is. So a few quick pointers. Are you able to bring up the screen gates for PlayStation in terms of like going into the main screen? And I'll tell you what screen I want you to go into.
Okay.
And Candyman's going to win that game against the Jets. It's under a minute left. He's up 22-7 or 14, I think, at this point. So I can get out of that.
It's
I'm not saying
25,
I'm the
14
smartest dude in
now.
the world when it comes to the cap. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm just going off common sense and kind of what I know and what I can use to maybe help some people. So right there at that screen you're at, okay, let's go into where it says team. Go to my
Oh.
team.
Mm-hmm. Salaries?
No, re-sign players.
Oh, you want to see mine?
Well, okay, hold on. Well, yeah,
Let's do
go
it.
to random team. Go to my team. Go to my team, Gates.
I can't. We'll do it. We can do it. My team. Look at my team. It's fine.
Okay, here's where I wanted to start.
Can you?
The first thing I'm gonna tell people: if you wait until the end of the season to try to resolve your cap issues, you lost. It's over. You need to start managing your cap from week 1. So here we are in week 2, but even though the game doesn't show you who you have to re-sign, you can go into re-sign players, which is why I wanted to show this and show people. This screen tells you everybody you have on your team that's got to get signed for the year, right? So I'm gonna do it for my team. The Giants, I went in to re-sign players. I got to re-sign Evan Ingram, Jabril Peppers, Dalvin Tomlinson, Leonard Floyd. Those 4 right there are core possible all-stars for me. Got to re-sign them. And then I got Wayne Gallman Jr. and Matt Khalil. Now, by going into this screen, you have an idea early in the season, hey, man, who's coming up for a signing? What does their contract look like? In week 1, you're already able to determine, man, am I going to keep Evan Ingram? Evan Ingram wants 4 years, $28 million. That works out to $7 million a year. So I know for next year I have to have $7 million on a cap just to re-sign Evan Ingram. Jabril Peppers wants 5 years, $34 million. Dalvin Tomlinson wants 2 years, $12 million. Leonard Floyd wants 3 years, $30 million. So basically, Leonard Floyd wants $10 million a year. Dalvin Tomlinson wants $6 million a year, so that's 16. Jabril Peppers wants 5 and 35, 7. That's $23 million, and Evan Ingram wants 4 and 7. I need to have $30 million clear on my cap for next year. Now, why is that important? Okay, if you look right now at your screen where it says salaries and you look at cap space.
Yeah, I'll go back.
So going to where it says salaries.
And what team? My team or any team?
Pick my team.
Okay.
Okay, now it shows that I have 3.7 million available on the cap if you look at the top. That doesn't matter. Here's where people are getting confused. That's the amount of money I have this season to spend on picking up somebody in free agency, to spend on a backup replacement if somebody gets hurt. That has nothing to do with what I talked about. Before this, I said I need $30 million next year to re-sign all of those guys. So if you look at cap space, and this is 3.37, a lot of people mistakenly think, oh man, I'm screwed. I can't sign them guys. That money is not next year's money. All of those contracts are going to fall onto next year's book. So this 3.37 means nothing. It doesn't mean I can't sign my guys. When we get to season 3 and you're able to start negotiating with your guys and you click on negotiate, that shows you the money you have toward next year. Don't confuse this money right here. This is cap space 3.37 with that's what you have next year. That's not. That's what I have this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, certain things you want to factor in for salary cap. 1, don't be a fan. Okay? Some of us are playing with our favorite teams. I'm a Giants fan. Of course I want to keep Saquon Barkley. But if he's going to kill my show, but I can't let him go because I'm a fan. I love Gates, what you said to Bill, when he was like, I'm not attached to these players like that. A lot of people are, and that's their undoing. I know Mo last year talking to him, because he's an Eagle fan, it's hard for him to cut a Carson Wentz. It's hard for him to part with certain people. You have to think as a general manager and a businessman, not as a fan of your team. And you have to look at certain things. Most of these players want at least 4-year contracts. Look at their age first and foremost. If you have a 29-year-old player and you know that dude wants a 4-year contract like the Giants did in real life, and it's so damn stupid and it's pissing me off. They re-signed they signed Golden Tate in real life. The man's 30, 31 years old. If I cut him right now, it's a $45 million cap hit. But because he's older, he's already at like 86 speed. I can't use this dude as a wide receiver. 86 speed, I walk faster than that dude runs around. So in the game, I would look to cut that guy as soon as possible. Now, before you go and cut people, you need to understand what the cap hit is. So we're in that screen, right? So scroll all the way to the right to where it says savings and penalty. It's the last two columns. If you go on to where it says savings and you click square, it sorts it by the lowest amount of money you save. And then if you press square again, it sorts it by the highest amount of money you save. So if you look at this screen, here's what this is telling me. If I cut Leonard Floyd right now, I'm going to save $13.2 million toward my cap, right? The penalty is 0. So I can cut this dude, and it's instantly going to give me $13.2 million toward my cap this year. So instead of it saying 3.37, it's going to have 16.7 million. Again, that doesn't matter because that 16.7 million is not rolling over the next year. It just means for this year, I'm going to have 16 mil on the cap instead of 3. And the penalty is what's important, right? Now, you don't want to cut players if you're going to have this massive penalty next year.
Like this guy.
Right. Go back to save and press square again, right? Now, you see Daniel Jones? If I cut Daniel Jones, right?
Oh, you said savings?
Yeah, go back to savings and press square again.
Yeah.
So right now, this is what this is telling me. If I cut Daniel Jones right now, I'm only going to get $210,000 on my cap, but I'm going to have a penalty of $17.7 million, right? So that means automatically next year, whenever you get a cap penalty, that transfers to the next year.
And, so it tells you up top. You see it? It tells you up top. Your next, your cap penalty is 120K.
Right. So if I cut Daniel Jones, I'm going to have a $17.7 million cap penalty, which takes away from my cap space. So you want to stay away from cutting dudes like that. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Go to R2 and press wide receiver. Now look at Golden Tate, and this is what I was talking about in real life was pissing me off. Okay? If I cut Golden Tate right now, even though the man's at 86 speed, I'm only getting $500,000. But if I cut him, look at the penalty for cutting him. It's $15 million. That means next year, say I have $50 million on my cap for next year. Now it's $35 million just because I cut this dude. So in effect, this is what Bill's talking about with Ben Roethlisberger. It is cheaper for me to just keep him on a team as a backup, even though he ain't going to play. Because if I cut this dude, I'm not gaining anything, but I'm losing a shit ton of money. So when people are making decisions on who to cut, you need to look at what you're saving and what's going towards your cap, and then look at that penalty and ensure that you're not killing yourself for next year. Sometimes you got to eat shit. I got to eat shit with Golden Tate. He's 32 years old. If you click X if you want to play a card, here's what he's working with. His ratings, okay? He's at 88 speed. He's 90 acceleration. He's 84 catch and 84 catch in traffic, 91 jump. So he's not horrible, but for me, the way I like to play, I wouldn't use this guy unless I was in a red zone situation or I needed a first down. I would sub him in because he's got short hands. But can I use this guy to take the top off of defense? No. Can I put this guy on a fly route? No. Can I put him on a fade deep? No. I would have to use this guy in the slot underneath or in situations in the red zone and things of that nature where I need to get a first down. And I know Rue can feel me on this because he has the same situation with Larry Fitzgerald. He's a monster, but the dude is so damn slow. It's like you really kind of can't use him at 1 and 2. But
and at 15 million, he better get the ball for 15 million. He got to get something got to happen for 15 million.
Well, okay, but I know I played Drew this season, and I kind of know how he wants to play. So for the offense Drew wants to run, I get he's making a lot of money, but I'm not going to have a body out there taking the production from young receivers out like Darius Slayton. Okay, so back out of that. Go to Darius Slayton. He's second. and click his player card. Now it's a normal dude. Go to his ratings. But he's got potential here to work with. 94 speed, 92 acceleration, 79 catch, 81 catch in traffic. This is a young-ass guy. He's like 23 years old. Why would I put this guy on the bench to let old-ass Golden Tate sit out there and not do much for me when I could be developing this dude in his place?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the examples of the things you want to think about when you're making decisions. Don't be a homer. Don't keep guys around because you're a fan of their team and you like them. Don't keep guys around because they have a name. A lot of people have names. Just because somebody is a name, their time came and went. That's why I like that you put J.J. Watt out there. The easy inclination for you is to go, that's J.J. Watt. I can't get rid of him. Why not?
Yeah, he gone.
If you got other people that can do the job effectively and save all of that money you're going to have to pay that dude, why would you keep him around? I'll give you another example on my team. One more example. Let's go to left tackle. So R2 and then go to left tackle. Now look at the third person, Nate Solder. This is another bad contract in real life that sucks ass in real life. Okay? Click on Nate Solder's card. Okay, now here's a dude in real life the Giants are giving a ton of money to. This dude's a 73 overall. He's strong, 90 strength. His run block is pedestrian on average at best, 71. His pass block is 73. The only thing this guy really has good going for him that I like is his lead block at 83 and his awareness is 74. I mean, his awareness at 84. His impact block is even weak, but this guy's a tackle, okay? He protects the quarterback's blind side. Now, back out of that dude and look at the dude I just drafted. That's arguably the best tackle in the draft. He's the one that had the story with John McGee. And click on his card. Okay? He's stronger than Nate Solder at 94. His run block's better than Nate Solder at 82. His pass block is better than Nate Solder at 77. His awareness is one less than Nate Solder at 83, and his impact block is better. This is a young guy that's costing me peanuts, and Nate Solder is killing my show right now because this dude has, if I cut him right now, well, if I cut him, I save $12.9 million. But I also got to carry an $8 million cap hit in the next year, which takes away from me signing Evan Ingram and Jabril Peppers and all these other guys. Yeah. So these are the types of decisions and things you need to make. Am I really going to keep this guy around until he's 34? He's already 32. So right. I know it seems like it's difficult to manage the cap, but it's really not. It's just having good common football sense and not being married to these dudes because of who they are, because it's your team. You have to fish and cut bait when it's possible. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to bore everybody to death, don't cut dudes for free. Everybody laughed at Big Truck today. Pius said it. Dude, you really trying to like trade Alex Swift? Just cut that dude. Now it's funny because it's kind of true. At the same time, I respect that Truck's not trying to give away an asset for free. If you go and do what we said at the beginning, and you look at re-sign players, and you know who you got to sign next year, and I showed you how to add up the amount of money you need to have on your cap for next year, and you've made the decision. Say I decided I'm just not going to re-sign Evan Ingram. I can't afford him. Why would I cut him and let him go for free? There's a ton of people in this league that would give me something for Evan Ingram. If you know you're not re-signing a dude, put his ass on the trade block and get something for him. Get a pick.
Yeah.
Get a second rounder. Get a third rounder.
That's like me and J.J. Watt. Like, I have a whole this year and next year. But this year, if I cut him, I save 15. I'll break it down. I can save $15 million.
Yeah.
All right. So it's like if I clip him now, $15 million. See, and then next year he has the $17 million. But this year, it don't cost me nothing. So I might as well get him out of here. He's still got another year. So whoever wants him, you get him, and he comes with another year, and he's gonna play until he's 34. Because the average left in this league, I've already done the numbers and looked at it. They play to about 34. So he has another year on his contract, and he has 3 more years he can play. That's it.
You're doing it the smart way, because this is why I say you have to be smart. Let's say he started to get slower. You know what's not going to decrease? It's his awareness, his strength. So if he got slower, You can still get miles out of him because put his ass at D tackle. That dude will wreak havoc coming up the middle. Yeah. You don't need to have 80 speed to come up the middle on a weak ass center. Most people don't have good centers. So you're right. You have to think about these things and factor them in, and don't get rid of guys for free. Always get something for your guys. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something that we're discussing in the commish chat, but I'm telling everybody this now. Do not mark my words on this. Don't take this home and bank on it. As a matter of fact, let me check something in the commish chat real quick because we have a vote on something that a lot of you guys are going to be happy about. I'm going to look to see if anything changed on how that vote looks. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Sorry, fellas.
Yep. Drew, any comments on the cap situation?
Okay, got it. So I know the way. I'm sorry, Drew. So
go ahead.
Boone brought up a good point in the commish chat, and I agree with Boone's point. So we put it to a vote. Boone proposed that we expand the amount of trades from 3 to greater to give owners more flexibility to offload big contracts and get rid of guys. And I actually agree with him because the cap this year is harder than it's ever been in Madden. Let me explain that part real quick. So let me tell you 2 things that's different about the cap, because here's where everybody's confused. The cap in Madden this year, they chose logic that mirrors the real NFL. So in UG, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm negative 30-something million in the hole, and all I did was make one move this season. That's not because I didn't manage the cap. That's that horrible-ass Nick Foles contract in real life they gave him. Boone inherited a bad cap from the Khalil Mack trade. So is it fair to Boone or to myself? No, it's not fair. At the same time, you don't have a choice but to manage what you have. So that's problem A. Problem B, there's a new logic built into the scene. I mean, there's a new logic built into the game, and that's free agent market dictation. So I'm glad Drew's on the call because I'm going to use him for an example. Drew gave Byron Jones, I want to say like 248.
Which is crazy, Drew. Crazy.
Right, but hear me out where I'm going with this.
He jacked up everybody has to pay it.
And that's where I'm going with this. So here's what happens. When somebody sets the free agent market with a price, the top 4 to 5 cornerbacks automatically will request contracts to be paid as a top 5 corner. So here's the effect of what Drew did. Because he gave Byron Jones that money, it's going to prompt Jalen Ramsey to ask for even more money than he would already ask for. It's going to prompt Patrick Peterson, Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Davis-White, anybody in this league who you think is a good corner, said they wanted 60 mil. Now they want 110 mil because the market got moved up. So at every single position in free agency, when you set the table with a massive contract, it's going to kill the market. So perfect example.
So can I give an example to that, Ty?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So also a couple of things. People need to understand too. When you trade players, you also get the cap hit because we can't pay out contracts in cash, right? Like, you know, in real NFL, they'll say like, oh, I'll trade him for him, and then we'll pay the rest in difference in cash. You know, if you pick up the contract, we can't do that. So they hit you with the cap penalty with that. This year in Madden, we used to be able to hit like re-sign people, just hit them with a 7-year deal, stretch the cap without thinking, hit yes, like oh, you want to be re-signed, just give them 7 years. You know, they'll spread it all over the 7 years, and we save all this money. We can't do that. We can't do that this Madden, which I think is really good. We're really mimics the NFL. Now, here's the thing, right? 2 things. Kurt last year signed Drew Brees to $35 million for 1 year. He was like, should I do that? Is that a bad move? We said no because you want to win the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. But we didn't speak on how it affected everybody else's situation when he did that. So when he franchise tagged Drew Brees at $35 million, that means that all the top QBs in that situation would have been around 30, anywhere from 20 to 35 million, which is why Moondog also probably let Dak Prescott go when he tried to franchise tag him because he couldn't afford it. He's like, yo, he can't afford it. So he let him go, and it worked out in his favor. He re-signed him. Here's the issue now. Patrick Mahomes, Watson, Mayfield, all need contracts, right? We all need contracts. If and I'll show you, Watson's asking $7,240,000.
Who?
108 over 7 years, $133 million signing bonus. So if I sign him to that, if I try to cut him, it's $133 million cap hit, which sounds crazy, right? Here's the thing I'm worried about. If he's asking for that, Mahomes might be asking for $300 million. If he signs him to that, I don't know what that means. Watson might not take my first, second, or third offer if he does that, because he's now raised the bar. So my question is, do I just re-sign him real fast next week and then figure out my cap, or do I wait and see what Philip Mahomes does?
Honestly, I can't tell you I know I have the answers because I'm in.
No, but I'm just saying that's just the mindset we need to like.
Right. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. I agree with your mindset. The sooner and the quicker you sign guys, the better, because you can't afford to put your finances. Let me ask you this: would you put your home finances in somebody else's hands?
No.
Exactly. That's the same way you got to approach this, because you don't know what Don Joe's going to do. You don't know what Cletus is going to do. You don't know what Ty's going to do. So if you have a chance to lock your dude in early, you got to take it. If you're convinced that that's the guy you have to have.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, for me personally, honestly, no exaggeration, I'm drafting a quarterback every draft. Y'all laugh. Look, at the end of the day, I already see the way we in season 2, bro, and dudes is asking for $240 million. What you think dudes is going to be asking for when they win an MVP, when they get some Pro Bowls under their belt, when they get the quarterback of the conference thing? Hey, man, luckily for me, Daniel Jones is not that good right now. But even that dude's probably going to want like $70 million. But if you draft a quarterback and try to work on him and develop him and practice and get him going, you're not going to be at the mercy of having to spend a $300 million contract on one person. The way I figured out the cap is like this. Really, honestly, no team can really have more than 3 or 4 highly, highly paid dudes. If you get past that point, you're going to have to make hard cuts and hard decisions. You can afford to give one dude quarterback money, and you can put about 4 other dudes around that dude. After that, you can't do it, which is why, going back to Paya and the Browns, he's screwed.
Yeah.
You can't pay Myles Garrett, Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb, Miles Jack, Ronald Darby, and there's other Larry Oden. No, he got rid of Larry Ogunjobi. You cannot pay all of these dudes what they're gonna want. So, like you said earlier, Gates, it's bowl or bust. If you're lucky enough to put that team together, you got a 1 or 2 season window, and you have to win with them. And if you don't, you better start cutting dudes. Or like I said, don't just let dudes go for free. Start trading these dudes and getting young assets in the room and take their place.
Or you can have a team with all them star players and everybody around them to 50 overall 50s and 55s and 60s. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you better have a damn good scheme. You better score every time you get the ball, because I don't want that 55. Listen, bro, let me tell you something. I'm playing with 55s and 60s. I did it in season 1. You see how that worked out?
Yeah. You see, like, and not to call you out, Drew, but you see, like, here's an example. Because Khalil Mack, when he did his deal with the Bears, was so high and crazy, when I tried to offer Clowney his money, he wouldn't take it. He didn't take my first 2 deals. It took me 7 years, it took me 7 years, $150 million to get him to agree. But look how much of a hit that I take, and then the bar that it sets for everybody. Like, same thing with the Byron Jones. Like, Drew set that bar so high. Like, everybody's gonna want to get paid.
Jalen Ramsey is gonna ask for it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna get paid. Everybody's gonna get paid.
Let me take the heat off Drew. Let me put it on me. Go back to my team and look at what I gave Yannick Ngakoue the left end.
He should have the most money as a hit too. He's the left end?
No, he's the right end.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay, so now let me tell you what I did with him. Now let me tell you what my thinking was. And here's what was a tad bit different. Now, I'm not going to speak for Drew because he's on his call, but let me tell you something that I do know for a fact from talking to Boom. Before everybody wants to talk trash to Drew, understand that that man works a lot of night hours. So the man wasn't going to be available to counter any bids placed on his dude. So he had to kind of put a bid that was almost untouchable if he wanted to secure that dude. The Cardinals did not have a lot of talent. Drew had a lot of money, but he couldn't sit there and counter and go back and forth with dudes. So he kind of had to put one bid out there in hold on real quick.
Yeah.
I see Trump's comments. Let Trump know we are going to address his comments because he was saying he guess we don't answer the comments.
Yeah.
He just joined to see what's the talk. He didn't cut Alex because that's a 60 million hit. So laughing at what, sir? I'm lost. Trump, nobody was laughing. What I said was Haya's comment was funny, but I gave you credit, Trump, because I said you're doing exactly what I tell people to do. Don't give away your assets for nothing. You're right. You shouldn't just eat a $60 million hit. Even if you got a fourth rounder, it's better to get something than nothing. So I wasn't laughing at you what you're doing. I was laughing at Haya, the Browns being a smart ass and saying what he always says. So now we got that clear. Now to get back to this, what I was saying about Drew, he did what he did because he couldn't be there to defend and counter his bid. If he was present, he can speak for himself better than I can speak for him. I'm pretty sure he would have lowered the bid and countered. But he had to ensure he got the guy and he wasn't going to be available. In effect, it's no different than setting your draft pool when you know you can't be around for the draft. So before everybody piles on that guy, understand he had a bad team with no talent and he couldn't be there to secure the guy he wanted. Is that pretty much correct, Drew?
Pretty much. And another thing about it was, in every league that I'm in with Dorian, my brother, he has the Cowboys and he has Byron Jones. I try to get Byron Jones every single chance I get. Saw him in free agency. I knew my team was bad. I got Peterson coming up for contract, but I have Byron Murphy who's coming up under Peterson. So I'm okay with letting Peterson go and have Byron Murphy on the other side of Jones. So that way I'm not losing anything for real. I'm just grooming another one as he plays along the superstar.
Right. Now, going back to what I was saying about Yannick Ngakoue, that was kind of somewhat what my decision was. I, too, have a bad team. I had a decent amount of cap money. The way to get out of my situation is to improve the talent around me. So, looking at his age, with him being 25, I signed him long term. This isn't an old guy at 30 years old that I signed for 6 years. This is a 25-year-old guy that I signed for 6 years. So I'm basically having for the entirety of Madden. So I signed him for 6 years. The contract in totality is $108 million. So basically, his base salary is about 60-something million. His bonus was $48 million. But why I'm calling this dude out is because if I drop him, that's a $48 million cap hit because that's the totality of his signing bonus. Now, the way that works, so people understand this, in the beginning of his contract, I gave him $48 million. If I let him play for 3 years, that's going to be 3 years of of signing bonus taken away from the cap hit, so the cap hit goes down. So in 3 years, it may only be a $20 million cap hit, which is still a lot to keep.
It's right here, Ty.
Huh?
I'm showing it right here on the screen. Each year you cap it.
Right. So it shows the cap hit for each year. So if I cut him right now, it's $48 million because he didn't get none of his signing bonus. If I cut him in 2023, it's only a $19.9 million cap hit. Now, keep in mind why I brought all of this up is every left end now coming up after him. If you look at Calais Campbell, if you look at J.J. Watt, if you look at I'm trying to think of the premier ends in the league. And those are the two that come to mind: Calais Campbell, J.J. Watt. I don't count Aaron Donald because he's the DT. But straight up ends, if they think like J.J. Watt, a lot of people you wouldn't really argue that Ngakoue is better than J.J. Watt. So J.J. Watt in the game mindset is thinking, wait a minute. This dude just got a $48 million signing bonus and $108 million. Hell yeah, he's asking Gates for $300 million because he's thinking in his mind, I'm better than that dude. If that dude got this amount of money, how can you pay me less and expect me to accept that? And that's why the contracts that we give in free agency to the premier players set the market for the entirety of the league.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Kurt, who's the Phoenix owner, reached out to me and said that he has some players he has to sign. Lattimore, Marcus Williams, and Kamara. And he asked me, how do I sign them guys? I mean, the first answer is this here. Is this guy here. Drew Brees. He has to go. He has to go. The question is, what do you get for him, Kurt? Do you trade him right now? Don Joe needs a quarterback, and Don Joe has $50 million in cap. You know, do you trade him for any pick or anything, or do you just let him walk away from free agency? And you just have to be ready to let him walk. But to free up $40 million, you need that. There's no way you sign Drew Brees again next season, in my opinion.
Well, 100%. The other thing, and you don't have the ability to do it, but the other thing I would tell Kurt is to do what we talked about early in the beginning of the cap conversation.
They did.
Once a year, we sign players and look at who else is coming up for contract. Yeah. Now, he obviously did that because he knows who he needs to sign. But you're right. I'm going to tell you another dude, honestly. But then again, I get not one. Well, let's go back to what I said. Go to your savings column and sort that by your biggest savings. You get it right over here. I will say this. Drew Brees is a $19 million cap hit. So what it's going to do to his cap space up top is 6.8. It's going to turn that into mush, and it's going to roll over in the next year, taking money away from what he has. Mm-hmm. So what I start doing is looking at cheaper options, right? Sure. You can get bang for your buck. Okay, you definitely ain't cutting Cam Jordan. Okay, that's going to kill you. You probably can't really cut Terran Armstead. But Larry Warford, see, these are the guys I look at, right? Although he's on his last year anyway. I'm just not resigning that guy, okay? He's a 78 overall. That's decent, but it ain't great. He's 30. That's $8.4 million saved with only a $2.2 million penalty. But if you let him play through the season, you don't get any penalty because you paid his cap.
Yeah.
You know what? Jared Cook. This dude is old as Methuselah. He's 33 years old, okay? He's eating up $7 million. Do you really need to bring that dude back? I'm probably not bringing that dude back.
You don't bring him back.
Exactly. You know what? Who else do we got here?
This guy, the Davis. He can walk. 31. He can walk.
Exactly.
He can walk.
I will say this. Kurt is asking the right questions because this is what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's good Kurt is asking this question in week 1 and trying to address it now. If you wait until the offseason and try to go, oh, shit, I got to figure out how to sign these dudes, it's too late. They're just going to walk off the team for free. You ain't getting nothing. You're going to be true. You're going to be a rebuilding hell. Out the gate. I love what you said about Drew Brees. The only thing that scares me about Brees is that's a monster cap penalty. So I would need to really know what cap
you don't trade him now. You can't trade him now. I didn't know he had a $19 million hit.
And that's what I'm telling you, right? So say he only has $40 million on his cap next year, but he cuts Brees or trades him and he eats $19.5 million. The $19.5 is coming off the 40, so now he really only has $20 million next year to try to sign him other dudes. So he's kind of screwed.
Ain't gonna work, yeah.
You gotta figure out other ways to do it without cutting. You gotta let Brees play this season, but you gotta figure out the Larry Warfords of the world that you can let walk. It's gonna free up money. Tommy Davidson, like you said, you gotta let them dudes roll.
Yeah, them guys gotta roll. I'm looking here just to see who has a huge cap hit for next season, if anybody.
Well, look at Roethlisberger, the Steelers, because Bill's been openly talking about this, so it's not a secret. I'm not telling on the dude. He said it in the main chat and everything. Roethlisberger's killing that dude's show, and look how many years he has left.
He has a terrible deal, doesn't he?
Well, yes, it's to a point. Like, if he cut Roethlisberger right now, we in 2020? Is this the 2020 season? That's not 20. Okay, so if he cut Roethlisberger right now, it's 33 million on his cap.
Yeah, 29 million hit.
Yeah, right? So if he waits until next year, it's 32.2 million. He's got to ride that damn horse. It sucks.
Yeah, I didn't know. Bill, take my apologies. I said something in the chat. I didn't know he had that on his contract. He has to die there. He dies there.
Right.
He does.
he got to eat that. He got to do what I said with Golden Tate. You got to just let this guy sit on the pine. Luckily, Roethlisberger is serviceable, although I know Bill's told me personally he's not happy with the way he throws the ball, but he's still serviceable. Like, you can play that guy. Like, I'm kind of to a point with Golden Tate where it's like he's going to be a specialist in certain situations. Because I'm not going to let the fact that I can't cut him stifle young players' growth.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation. Drew, let me get back to the point I was making so Drew can get to his point. So we voted, and it's not official yet, but the votes are in favor of it, of looking to expand trades from 3 to 4, because we understand how difficult the cap is now this year. So we want to give coaches and owners more flexibility to get rid of troublesome situations. So we're going to be looking to expand trades from 3 to 4. The vote is in favor of expanding it. It's not 100% official yet. Don't hold me to it. Don't say Ty said, but the vote is in favor of doing it. So pretty soon it should be a formal piece of communication out to everybody that we're going to look to go from 3 to 4 trades. Some people may not think it's a big deal, but if you used up your 3 trades and you got a bad contract you want to offload and you trade, you will be screwed. So the 4th trade is going to be a lot more valuable than people think or know.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, Drew, before I cut you off, sir, Gates had asked you what your thoughts are on all of the capology and everything we're discussing. So I apologize I cut you off to break this down further. But what are your thoughts, sir?
Oh no, you're fine. You actually taught me a lot. There was a lot of stuff about the cap that I didn't understand myself. But before I go there, the Dolphins got Dak Prescott from the Cowboys.
Yeah, they just did a
trade.
That's a monster.
Yeah. Do you know the details of that trade? Can you tell us the details? Matter of fact, I can pull it up.
It looked like he sent Dak and somebody else for a tight end. Yeah, he sent Dak and Caleb Wilson for
the other tight end
named Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, but as far as the cap goes, I didn't know too much about the cap either. Older Boone was trying to teach me some stuff about who to let go and who to resign and about the contract I gave Jones and everything like that. But for me, it was selfish, my thinking of it. Yeah, I worked those late hours, but it was also, I don't really care who else needs to sign a quarterback. You know, I got my cornerback. I locked him up for some years. I got younger corners coming up, and I just gotta figure out a way to re-sign Peterson next year. If I re-sign him, he'll be 31. I don't know if I'm gonna re-sign him or not, but I'm not. I didn't really care about nobody else needing to sign a corner. I know I gotta sign Johnson. I gotta sign Williamson. But as far as Peterson goes, he might be on the free agency, so. He'd be 31, so he may not ask for that much money. If you can get him, go get him.
Yeah,
I got a trade left if anybody want him.
And honestly, Drew, not as a commission, as a fellow owner, GM, I don't have a problem with you thinking that way. That's why I told you, if you can lock your guy in early, you got to do that, because you can't depend on 31 other people to make reasonable decisions for you. You got to do what's best for you. So in your scenario, I totally have zero problems with anything you said. You should be looking out for the Cardinals. That's your team. Why should you be concerned necessarily with what anybody else is doing? All I did was explain how it affects everything so everybody understands. But I don't expect you to look out for my team. I don't expect Gates to look out for my team. I got to look out for me. But that's why I told Gates, and my advice to any and everybody is, if you've made your mind up, this guy on your team is valuable enough to you, to what you're doing, that you need to resign him. You need to do it ASAP. Don't wait on other people.
Yeah.
Pay him now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pay him now.
That's one problem you got to worry about. Because just like you said, if you think about it for cornerbacks, you're set. Because you're not worried about signing nobody for 4 or 5 seasons. Now, whoever owns the Jags, new owner, fear the night, he got a problem because Jalen's coming up. If you was going to keep Patrick, you got a problem. Trey White on Buffalo, they got a problem. Marshawn Lattimore, that's a problem, but it's not your problem. Ultimately, you should be invested in your team.
Yeah.
It's not your job to look out for the welfare of everybody else.
I agree, because everybody don't going to get it together unless we should. Them same people ain't going on to get
They
it.
not. I made that list a couple of times last
They're
year.
not going to get on that. Let's
no
get you. All right, so we good on the cap stuff, Ty? We good on that?
Yeah, I am. Hey, Drew, let me ask you one final question about the cap. Like, I tried to figure out the best way I could to try to explain it because it's really complex. And again, I'm not telling you guys I'm the capologist and Billy Bean Moneyball guy. I just did the best I can. But do you feel as a person that you said, hey, I didn't really know a lot about the cap. Do you feel like the way it was broken down kind of helps you going forward to understand a little bit better how to manage it and what you want to do?
Yeah, I think it's way easier now because I do have the understanding of, letting pieces go is going to free up certain money. You may take that hit, but you may also be able to free additional money going forward to sign pieces that you need. It makes it a lot easier to know what I'm looking for when I go to re-sign players or pick up people in free agency.
Yeah, Bill was saying he wants Ben to please retire.
Yeah, that and I said, hey man, we get that.
Here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing. If Roethlisberger retires, does Madden still hit Bill with the salary?
Yes, good question. Okay, yes. In previous Maddens, even though I think it's just garbage, but that's the way it works, and it works that way in the real NFL. But I don't think that's fair. But who the hell am I? Like it is what it is. If a player retires short of completing their contract, you still do get hit with that cap penalty, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Like in real life, for me, if you retire from my job and you roll out, you made that decision, bro. You got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like, why am I paying you because you don't want to work no more? Like, I don't get that shit. But that's not the way it works. So unfortunately, if Roethlisberger retires, Bill will get hit with those cap penalties.
So in theory, he needs to go buy that quarterback retirement package.
Yes.
And
yes. And that's why I said that was a damn good question, Gates, because I'm so glad you covered that because I didn't touch that. Yes. Yeah. Bill needs to be getting that damn quarterback retirement package. Yeah, because if I got to eat a bullshit cap hit, I'd at least rather have the guy on my roster. Like, at least Golden Tate's on my roster. If the dude ain't there and I'm paying that penalty, brother, it's going to be a bad day in the NYG bill. So, yeah, get that package.
Cool. So now we got all that out the way, and I appreciate everybody rocking and staying this long. And so I think you did a great job breaking it down. And then me being able to show it on the screen really helped a lot. So let's get into year two. Let me hear your thoughts on season 2 or year 2, like we like to call it, season 2. Give me a breakdown.
Let's go by division. Do it the way you always do it. That's the best way.
Boom. Then right into the division wars. Here we go. Listen, right? Let's get right into it. Let's go AFC. No, how about we do this? Let's go NFC because Dre won the Super Bowl. It's only right to start with the champion side of the ball. So we'll go your division, NFC East.
Oh God, I hate starting my division.
NFC West. Let's get it. It's fine. We'll get it together here in the owner's box right now. NFC West.
Well, I feel Drew is definitely going to be better. He's going to factor in. John the Bullet was close. I know he's got some motivation, but Dre's the champ. And to me, I'm old school. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. Until Dre gets knocked off, I always got to give the champ the nod.
I already told you.
That's fair.
Until John the Bullet or whoever proves it, that's his division.
Oh, and by the way, I want to shout out Flex Down to the Seahawks.
He's been balling.
But he showed some flashes. So Dre's not going to just run away with that. Like all the boys, Drew's armed up and loaded. John the Bullet salivating. The Flex 980 is there. So it's going to be a tough divisional battle. But the champ is the champ until he's not the champ.
So
before we move on from my division.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about one thing too. I'm going to talk some things too.
Okay. I did beat Dre the one time we did play. We didn't play the second game.
We didn't play that one.
Okay.
It was a sim, but we met head to head. I did beat him, and I swept the Seahawks. I lost to the Rams twice, though. You know me. Usually I talk my shit, but I ain't saying nothing this year. I'm just
I
putting
like
that out.
that. I like that though. Let it be known. I respect that.
We get right into it.
I'm just letting y'all know.
I'm gonna just break your division down real quick. Dre, whatever you did last season, keep doing it. It's gonna work for you. Rams.
And key beast lineman in Bakhtiari, and we all know that dude loves to run the ball. And arguably, Bakhtiari is the best tackle on this game.
Yeah, I feel like what you were doing, bro, you did perfectly well. Just keep running that. Speaking of running, I think the Rams needs to take the Candyman blueprint, the Chargers blueprint. You put this whole season on Todd Gurley's back as Candyman put Melvin Gordon on his team. You know, you want to get to the promised land. You make sure Gurley is the first option, and let everybody else figure it out. I know that in week 1 he had 350 yards and 5 touchdowns, which he said he shouldn't have messaged. Sounds crazy.
Crazy.
I said, yo, my exact words to him were,
Gurley got it in.
I said, well, you let him ride, you let him run, you all the way to the Super Bowl. And that's what I think. Your opinion,
350?
Yeah, 355 touchdowns. Drew, for you just got to be the guy who we expect you to be, and then flex. Because we're always talking about these other 3 guys. I think you being under the radar and not being mentioned is a benefit. If you could take that, because a lot of guys probably watching your games outside of your division, things of that nature. You still being under the radar, I think you can play that to your advantage. NFC South, what you got, Ty?
Oh wow! You know what? I'm gonna go with your boy Skills, Bucks, Corey. It's hard for me to go against Rico because of how good he was. But Rico had some issues down. He stumbled a little bit toward the end. Bucks is familiar with him now. He's familiar with Bucks. I think Corey's on a mission. I think it's going to be Bucks. I think Rico's going to be in that second hole. And then I think that Ronnie's going to have improvement over last year. And I think I'm trying to think who else is in that division. There's somebody else.
Kurt, Saint.
Oh, man. You know what? Hey, let me tell you something. I was just playing a UG game against Kurt. And because I'm having internet issues because they're working on fiber optic cables in the neighborhood, they went out. But Kurt looked damn good. Kurt was giving me some work. It was 21. Well, now, granted, I'm not an excuse guy, but I just fumbles in this game. I'm not going to speak on that. I'm so tired of the fumble issue. It's not even funny. But that's just – and the hit stick shit is garbage, but that's another story. Kurt was looking good, so wow. I'm still going to go with Corey winning that division, the Bucks, but Kurt, Ronnie, and damn Rico are definitely going to have something to say about that. That's not going to be a runaway.
Drew, you want to go?
I give it to Ronnie. I'm going with Ronnie for this one. I played him last season and this season, and each time I played him, he looked phenomenal. Offense was clicking. Defense was flowing to the ball. I think if he can play that way for 16 weeks, there's no reason why he can't win that division. But it's like what you always should talk about, Gates, consistency.
Yeah.
If he can do it consistently, it's his.
Right. And that's the question. That's the asterisk next to him, in that division. For me, Rico's my guy, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? But the perception of Rico is a one-trick pony after you shut down the run, right? This is the buzz going around. And with that being said, I gotta give the Bucks the nod because he really wants to prove that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the best in the division, and he felt like he should have won to the Super Bowl last year. I think until Rico figures out what to do after Freeman doesn't get loose and Trent Cannon can't do what he wants to do, what happens? Kurt needs to focus, and he can make a run. Ronnie is consistency. What Ronnie are we going to get? We're going to get the guy who played Drew pretty well. We're going to get the guy who's just going to throw it to DJ Moore 20 times a game. Like, I don't know what version of him is going to come. So I rank it as Bucks, Falcons, Saints, then Panthers, in my opinion. NFC North, what you got, Ty?
Oh, God.
I'm going I'm a. For that, I think it's gonna come down between Tick and my brother.
I agree.
And now watching how Boone Senior did towards the tail end of the season. Like you said, he did start off with 1-4, and he finished 8-1 or 8-2 or some crazy stuff like that. After that I feel like he has his legs under him now. I feel like he got his thumbs working and he's focused and he can figure out where everything is going. But Tick is going to always show up, and there's always going to be a defensive battle with Tick. I'm gonna go with Tick number 1, and then my brother number 2. Hope he ain't watching, but that's what I'm going with. He gonna call.
I'll go next. I agree, right? I think Boone is. I talk to Boone all the time. To me, Trubisky is not the guy, bro. Like he's not the guy. And until you get the guy, I don't think you're gonna beat Tick. You might split, but Tick will dominate the rest of the division, as you will too. But Aaron Rodgers will always give him the edge when he needs it. And I think in that, he'll end up, winning the division. Now, your brother makes it to the playoffs, something, he turned into a different guy. We're talking about just the division. I gotta go Tick, him, Najee, and C-Dub. I mean, I heard C-Dub has a great hit stick, but I don't think it's like the Bucks. So I'm gonna put Vikings last, and then I'm gonna give Lions the third slot. What do you think, Ty?
Golly, boy, you guys are spitting hot fire, but I agree. My problem with C-Dub and Niji, they're going to be contenders. Well, I think C-Dub came into the league looking good, and he stumbled. I think he needs to be more consistent before I'm going to put him at the top of that division. Niji is on a bad slide in multiple leagues. He said something today that I agree with. He loves 2K, and he was saying that ever since 2K has come out, because he plays a lot of 2K, his Madden game is suffering. I think he's trying to figure his game back out. I think it definitely comes down to Tick and Boone. I think Boone is focused. I think Boone's on a mission. I think he's playing sharp. And I was going to say it's a pick 'em, but you said something that actually kind of has me thinking. I'm not going to say Trubisky's not the guy. I think Trubisky with some work can be. But you said something that I totally forgot that I totally agree with. Aaron Rodgers is a freaking problem, especially that X factor. And I think that's going to give him the edge.
Gives him the edge.
But Boone's going to battle him neck and neck for that division, and I see Boone as a playoff team. I just don't know if he's going to win the division.
That's what I said. Winning the division, making the playoff, 2 totally different conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what, though? I personally, before we move on, I think Trubisky can be that guy. I think he just has to change how he uses it. Trubisky, to me, he's like a Kyler Murray. He's a taller Murray. You got to get the ball out quick. As soon as you hike it, you better be throwing a slant. Don't sit back and try to drive it down the field, because it's just not going to work that way. For real. Because with Kyler, as soon as I hit hike, I got to throw the ball. It has to be short, intermediate routes. Drag, screens, slants. It has to be that, or it's just not going to work. And I think that's what he has to do. He has to try to mix that in, take underneath, and then, like he told me before, if you get that deep shot, take it. You might get lucky.
I'm going to tell you, like I tell him all the time, play to your quarterback strength, right? Ty, you can attest to it all the time. Kyler Murray, he might not be the best thrower, but the man got 90-something speed. Why are we even thinking
fumbles.
About why I'm not throwing
fumbles?
Bro, I would master the slide game. He would be the fastest slider in the league that you've ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? But
but you talked about it before. It's hard to slide when you have a quarterback like that, because you want to get as many yards as you can.
Oh, it's vintage.
And he's elusive. He can juke. His juke is nasty.
It's vintage Michael Vick. It's 07 Michael Vick.
It's hard to slide.
Let me solve this problem for both of y'all. I'm going to ask you a question. Because I agree with Drew, by the way. Now I'm asking you a question. Drew, who's your backup?
Some guy named Chad Kanoff from Princeton.
Okay, that's my point. Now, keep that in mind. Is it worth trying to slide to get 5 extra yards or to play in one meaningless game and have that dude out for 8 weeks? And go with that back. Is that what you want to do?
Nah, I know what you're getting at.
So I'm saying
I don't want to do that.
I get what Gates is saying. Normally, 100% I agree with you got to play with your guy's strength. But what I'm saying is, this dude is, I think I'm bigger than Kyler Murray. I'm 6 foot, 250, right? In real life.
He 5'10", 205.
That dude's probably getting injured, let alone NFL quality dudes hitting that dude. I would feel more comfortable running with Deshaun Watson, which I know Gates has done, but I know Gates personally has told me, hey, man, like Deshaun fumbles, and he's much bigger than Kyler Murray. I ain't running that dude. That's the franchise.
And he's been hurt twice, but he came right back. And he came right back.
Half-pint version of Deshaun Watson out there? Nah, Drew. Don't run that dude, bro. Get the ball out fast.
But listen, this is why it's hard to run with him. I mean, yeah, he 5'10", 205. His elusiveness, this is for a quarterback, is an 82. His juke is an 81. And his speed is a 91 with 92 acceleration and 90 agility. It's hard to just go down with him because you expect to just run right past people or juke some damn body.
And they get that dumb animation sometimes to where it's like they get into their slide late, so they still take a hit up top. I was telling this to Gates, Drew, you gonna laugh at this. Last on the box, I said, you know what's the one animation of the entire game I fear? It's when your dude takes a hard hit, and at first you think, man, he's all right, but then they get up, and their hand is in the small of their back, and they hold it, and they just sitting there with their hand like this, like, oh. Whenever I see that animation on any Madden, it's never good. That dude never returns back to the game, and he's out for weeks. Any other animation, they cool. When they do this shit, and they holding their back, and their hand is waving in the air. I'm like, oh shit! And they on the knee. I'm like, man, damn it! That's like cracked ribs, vertebrae. Like that's 6 weeks right there, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
All right. So NFC East, how your division, man? Let's talk about it.
Okay, you know what? I'll put it to you like this. I'm gonna go off the ideology that I just said with Dre. I don't think Mo has it together yet. I think he's trying to scramble to figure out his team, his identity, and get his roster down pat. And even though I've added some pieces, until I actually start stringing together consecutive wins, I was encouraged by taking Paya and that juggernaut of a Browns team to the end, and I thought I should have got that win. I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and say Truck. I need to go out there and prove it.
So
Truck is 0-2.
Well, hey.
Now it's wide open. It's wide open. So, in theory, man, there was a guy I was rooting for, and he had. I was ready to be a believer, and he did something. He's back to his old self, and it was Moondog. I don't agree with the jury. I think he should have got rid of Dak Prescott if he didn't have the money. But dude, you got to get something in return. Like, I don't understand.
You got a tighty.
But who's going to throw the ball? Zeke now has to have 100 touches. Like, so in my opinion, that's good. I'm going to Truck, Ty, Eagles, Moondog.
Yeah, he ain't got no quarterback.
And Truck, if he's not playing the way he's playing, he's only going to get that by default because you have the Moondog shot himself in the foot. Mo hasn't figured it out yet, and you haven't figured it out yet. But if Redskins, Truck, if you're watching, bro, you need to take this division and run with it right now because it's wide open. It's wide open. That's my opinion of the NFC East.
I played Truck today, and I played Ty last season. I think if the Ty played last season can get that team to play like this for the rest of the season, it'll be his division. I give it to Ty. I'm going with Ty.
The only reason I don't give it to Ty is because of the guy he's still sticking with, Daniel Jones. I don't know what Daniel Jones is going to come out and throw the ball. Sometimes Daniel Jones might put up 300, only missed 3 passes.
He's a Hall of Famer.
And then sometimes Daniel Jones can hit an out route or a drag route. It's like, I don't know.
You know what? Honestly, man,
I don't know.
I think that's fair to say, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I said what I said. Because I was able to upgrade my defense. I really wasn't able to do much in terms of skill position on offense, and I'm still developing a young guy. So with that being said, you guys know me. The easy thing for me to do is come out and say, I'm the man, I'm the best, I have Super Bowls here, I have pedigree. None of that don't mean shit today, right now. So in looking honestly and fairly, do I have the talent? Yes. Do I have the pedigree? Yes. But I still got D Jones, and I still got to prove some shit. And I'm gonna give Truck his respect and say, hey, that man's proven what he has, he can get it done. That's why I went that way. So I can't. I like what both of you guys had to say, but I understand what Gates is saying too.
Yeah. AFC sideball. Let's go AFC South. That's my division, right? Yeah, AFC South.
I tell you what, I miss that Jags team though. That was my favorite team of all time.
Listen, man. I'm around. If you ever want to slide back over here,
he gotta let him go.
You're welcome. Just let him, just know it's a little different over here.
You know what? The new Jags owner, he's a guy recruited that's basically your boy Skills Bucks. Really good friend of his. I don't think he got off to a great start in the league. I think set the tone, mollywopped him, and kind of joked about it in the chat. I'm not super familiar with skill level, so I don't know that he's ready to challenge Gates. The Titans, Trikanasana, I don't think he's ready to challenge Gates. And who else is the other team? Titans, Jags,
Colts.
Colts is
set the tone.
Set the tone hasn't figured it out just yet. Gates is the AFC champ. There's a reason why I'm going with Gates. Definitely looking to see if somebody from one of them other three teams can break away from the pack and string together some games, though.
Yeah, I think Colts has potential. I mean, he has a crazy blitz scheme where he just blitzes, and gets.
Who is that?
Set the tone. The Colts. I mean, he blitzes. He's sending them, and they're coming. And you got to get the ball out really fast all the time. I think it's a cool little scheme. He has to just figure it out on offense. Tight ends, he has to put his scheme together. And I don't know nothing about the Jags yet. So it's still early for him. Too early to tell with him. We'll be about AFC North, Pies division.
Relatively quiet. Here and even in UG, unusually quiet. I don't know that Rel's quite figured his stuff out yet. Don't know what we have in Bill yet. Organized Chaos. He's 1-0. I play him tomorrow. Looking forward to a good game to kind of see where he's at and where I'm at. Who's the other team in the North? The Ravens, the Bengals. Mm-hmm. Prime is getting into his grooves, but I think Paya's team is way too strong. And if Paya, he's not. I played him yesterday. I wasn't super duper impressed because it's not the Paya I know. But then again, he played me differently because I'm sending heaters at his shit because I knew I couldn't keep up with Beckham and Metcalf out there, and I just wasn't going to give him time. I'm not. I got Eli Apple and Jalen Mills in the secondary, bro. I'm not giving this dude coverage defense for him to carve me up. So I can't judge Pia's performance off of that because I changed his game plan by dictating terms to him. But I think he just has entirely too much for the North to deal with.
I feel like the winning opportunity for Bill, and Prime has came and went. I feel like last year was their time to do it. Pia, and I said it. Do whatever you guys do before Pia makes these crazy moves and get these players that he really wants, because then you never get this chance. And I think we're already here in year 2. His team is crazy. You know what I'm saying? His team is crazy, and it's so much talent. It's going to be hard to compete with. If Prime did beat him, beat the brakes off of him too the last time he played. But is that lucky or is that going to be consistent? So,
what I think. I think Bill, instead of starting Connor, needs to start Jalen Samuels. He's a 2-year guy. I got him in one of my other leagues. Pittsburgh is also my favorite team, and he starts for me. And he's like, he's like a miniature Bale almost, because he has pretty much the same speed and acceleration. He can truck a little bit. And he has a little bit of elusiveness, but he's going to get you those 7, 8, 9 yards at any point that you need him. I mean, he's a lower overall guy, but when it comes to running backs, for me, I don't think overall matters as much if you got a decent line, and Pittsburgh has a decent line to run behind. So I think you need to go ahead, put Connor as your third down guy. Get a ball to Samuels. He can use him at the backfield. You can utilize him on stretch plays, tosses, get him outside. I think he'd be a problem if he did that. And utilize Juju in that slot. Don't have him outside on the island by himself one-on-one. It's not going to work out like that. Put that man in the slot. Let him run free against your nickelbacks and your linebackers and your occasional safety.
I actually like what you're saying. I don't want him to do that tomorrow when we play, but after that, I think that's good stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, that's always the question, Bill. Like, who is this Steelers team? Who is this team? Like, are you guys run first, pass first? Every year it's like Roethlisberger. Is he starting? Is he not starting? Is he you giving Dobbs the nod? Who gets the nod? It's always that same question, and he has to get into that answer very early, man. You can't. What do you go 2-15 or something last season? How many games did we win last season? 3 games, 2 games? That's crazy. For that guy to be in that division, have that team, all these Maddens and things of that nature. I mean, it's like you gotta get eventually the chaos has to be organized. My question is when. Especially with Pie coming in that division now. Like, that's just my thoughts on that division. AFC West. But Ty, do you have anything left on the AFC North?
No, sir. I already spoke on it.
Okay. And AFC West? Candyman, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos.
Obviously, Chiefs is shown to prove he has the goods and he'll be there. They split last season.
Is this Mahomes last year in Kansas City?
Seeing Candy get a nice win over an impressive Cletus and knowing he's going to be consistently doing what he does, I got to slightly give the edge to Candy to win that division. I expect Chiefs to once again be right on that dude's heels, just like last year. Doc got an impressive win over the Bucks. Hopefully that's a sign of good things to come from him. Raiders, things got to show me something before I can even put him in that contending sentence.
Still answer my question.
I did
Mahomes last year in Kansas City.
No. You said, is this his last year? No.
You spend whatever.
Somehow,
it better not be.
There's a reason he put Watkins out there. There's a reason he's put Mitchell Schwartz out there. He's a Kansas City fan in real life, so I know he's probably got an affinity for Mahomes. Mahomes is probably going to be the most expensive player on the entire game, but I think he's going to at least attempt to do any and everything in his power to keep that guy. I say he figures it out.
You need to give him Byron Jones money.
Listen, you better not.
He's going to need more than that, brother.
Give him something regular.
He's going to make Byron Jones pay like Byron Jones is getting a welfare check. We're getting free cheese, bro.
Please sign him week 4. Don't sign him next week. Let me sign my quarterback first before you do anything. Those free me.
Byron Jones is out there with a cup going, hey, man, I'll put money.
Yeah, I think we hit it pretty much on the point with that division. Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and the Raiders. I would love to see Doc win more games, man. Unfortunately, he has the Broncos who had a terrible cap. They had the fourth worst cap this season or last season. So hopefully he can still make some things happen. That's just not even his fault. That's just due to the bad real life contracts that the Broncos did.
Contract. That's
the bad, terrible contracts that he's doing real life.
Still probably coming up in a season or 2 for signing, so he's definitely got to be shrewd with his cap.
Yeah, he's screwed. He has to sign Phillip Lindsay, the running back.
Yeah, probably has a big contract for him.
Yeah, so that's you hit that right on the head with that. We have the AFC East. What are your thoughts on AFC East?
I'll let Drew kick it off.
This just don't seem like the same Cletus to me for some reason. I mean, because like we used to, the first 2 seasons, he like it's almost like he tanks, and in the third season, fourth season, fifth season, he pops out and he's undefeated until the next Madden comes out. But it's just like this one, this Cletus just don't seem right. I don't know, but Strong don't seem all the way together either. So Miami has a quarterback now.
That's it, Don Joe, and he has
That's what I'm going with.
And he has Rose, Larry Rose the third.
Yeah, I'm going with Miami to take that division this year, but it'll be. I go Cletus second. I don't know anything about the Bills, but it's typically the Bills, and they typically don't have a great roster either. And unless you're like a Houdini or a wizard on here, you really can't do much with them. But I'm gonna go Miami 1 and then Cletus 2.
Okay. I mean, that was a big move to the Dolphins. Shout out to Don Joe for that. The question is, can he beat Cletus one game? If he beats Cletus one game, he wins the division. Because I think Strong can beat Cletus twice again. I think that's just his goal in Madden. Like, yo, I don't care what I do. I just need to beat Cletus in my division. Like, that's it. But the man has won a division convincingly, so it's hard to really go against him. But yeah, if Don Joe wins the one game again, if they split and Strong beats him twice, and I go Dolphins, then Jets. I think Pats don't make the playoffs again. I think they have a good year, but they don't make the playoffs again. And then the Bills, unfortunately, are the same. What are your thoughts, Ty?
Cletus wins that division. Strong's not beat him twice this season. You know what? Strong normally can get him early. Cletus takes those Strong games personally.
Here we go.
What Strong wants to do. That dude puts in more videotape time than anybody else. Don Joe's going to be on his head, though. I'm not telling you that it's going to be an easy thing. Like, Cletus might only win that division by one game. Maybe two. Don Joe's going to be a playoff team. But I think what's throwing Drew off is that Cletus is 0-2. But let's look at who he played the first two games. The defending AFC championship. The defending AFC championship. But arguably the best team on paper in the league, but I think second to the Browns. His second game was against Candyman. I can see why he's 0-2. But if he plays the same way he played against you and Candy against everybody else, 90% of the time that's a win. Cletus is going to win that division.
Yeah. And they're telling me that Don Joe just lost to the Bills.
Look, the crack.
Yeah. But that's what you said. A team cannot win no games.
He's not getting swept by Strong 2 games this season, and him and Don Joe will probably split. I think Don Joe's got to really run the table outside of those other games to win the division. Like where Cletus stumbled against you and Candy, Don Joe's got to get wins there.
Yeah. Not gonna argue that. The division games to win, you have to win the division games. You have to. Any other games you don't have to win. You have to win the division games. You know what I'm saying? You have to. Those games are the ones that dictate placement and things of that nature. So let's move on to a lot of people's favorite part of the show. I know we're on in week 2. To get it together, list.
Yeah, that's why I can't fucking why that. Bro, come on, get a chance, man. Come on.
Listen, man, what you did last season, Ty, don't matter. We're in a whole other season now.
You know what? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tweak it. I can't get it together, but I'm just gonna give a general thought on Madden because I think most people have always played one game. It's hard for me to tell somebody to get it together. Here's what I will say. I know why you do it, but I've always hated the whole, I'll see you in the playoffs. I'll see you in the Super Bowl.
That's my thing. I do it all the time.
Hold on a second, right? This is my second.
Yeah.
I know why you do it, because rightfully so, you should believe in yourself. The reason why I've always hated that is I don't believe there's anybody in this league, you, Candy, or Cletus included, that's that much better than everybody else here. And I know how much quality players we have in this division. So whenever I hear that statement, it always rubs me the wrong way, because it's basically not only you propping yourself up, but it's dismissing everybody else. It's saying nobody else has a chance because I'm here and I'm that much better than you guys. So instead of getting together, I'll say this. I've never made that statement in this league, and I got Super Bowl pedigree, and I never will, because I don't think I'm clearly that much better than anybody else to where I'm automatically guaranteed anything. So what I will say is, as opposed to get it together going into season 2, I respect a lot of the talent in this league, a lot of the players, and I think a lot of people in here, 15 to 20 people, have Super Bowl run capability. So with that many people that can make a run, me personally, I'm never, ever going to tell anybody, I'll see you in the Super Bowl. I'll see you in the playoffs. Because I think the arrogance in that statement, it goes beyond being confident to being arrogant. And there's a difference. At work and in real life, I tell people this. Here's the difference between confidence and arrogance. The confident person believes in themselves. I believe I'm a capable player. I believe I can win. I believe I have a good scheme. I believe I know what I'm doing. The arrogant player has to push other people down to prop themselves up. So to me, when we get into the I'll see you in the Super Bowl, I'm not only saying I'm good and confident in me, I'm saying the rest of y'all ain't shit. So for me personally, as opposed to get it together, I'll say this. There's a crop of good people in this league that I respect, that I feel can do work. Everybody on this call, Gates, you won Super Bowls and you can do it. I won Super Bowls and I can do it. And I know damn well Drew can do it. So because there's not only us three, but there's a good 15 other people like that, I'll simply say this. Not get it together, but I'll say may the best man win. I respect a lot of the confidence league. I know it's going to be a tough season 2. I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm looking forward to great competition. I'm looking forward to great divisional races. And I just want to see a great season 2 because season 1 was great. And again, congratulations to Gates for raising the bar early. And congratulations to Dre for raising the bar early. Along with you two, Candy, Lincoln Hector, Don Joe, a bunch of other people really raised that bar to where it's like, I'm just excited for season 2. That's my final thoughts.
So I'll speak with it because I do it. Like, for example, me and Candy played week 3. As soon as the game over, I text him, like, yo, good game. But I'm going to see an AFC championship when I want that win back. You know what I'm saying? Rico beat me, I think, by a field goal. I was like, yo, I'll see you in the Super Bowl. I want my win back. Does that mean me dismissing or demeaning anybody? No. My mindset is this. It's like if I want to be a boxer and they say, what are you doing? I want to be the heavyweight champion in the world. I'm speaking into existence. I'll let you know I'm so focused. Like I'm focused. It's so narrow. I'm going there. And these people, what? For me, it's just, again, they're just like, yo, I'm just like, all right, it's got to get past this person, Because my main goal, I've already spoken into existence. I put it down on paper. I manifest it. I will see you in the AFC championship. So I work endlessly, practice mode, schemes, boom, boom, to get past these players to get to that point. Same thing I told Rico in the playoffs. Yo, I'll see you in the Super Bowl, yo. I'm going to be there. Will you be there? Because I'm coming there. And that wasn't, again, nothing just missing about it. It's just me speaking all that into existence. So is it arrogance? I don't know. I mean, it could be looked at that way. But as a competitor to me, that's just me manifesting and speaking things into existence and then pushing myself to work to that point. That's what I said I was going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Let me clarify something. I didn't say, and I don't double talk. Like you know me, Gates, as well as anybody. For how many years we go back, I'm not taking a subliminal at you because my reason for saying what I'm saying has nothing to do with you or I'm knocking you. Or I think something negative. I'm simply saying we have a different style.
Sure.
Remember earlier the conversation we had on the phone, and I'm not going to get into it. Where I said There's certain things I'm never going to tell anybody you're wrong for thinking that way because I can't guarantee my way is right. I'm simply saying what works for me. So none of what I said had anything to do with Gates. I'm trying to subliminally take a shot because if I feel a way toward you personally, Gates, I'm going to tell you, Gates, I don't agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, because I understand that point, right? I'm not going to get into a theological discussion about God, but here's what I'm going to say. If I wrong somebody in real life today at work or my girl in real life, I can go to sleep thinking, whatever, I'll reconcile tomorrow. But in my mind, unless I have a personal relationship with God and he came down and told me tonight that us guaranteed I'm waking up tomorrow, it's very arrogant of me to think and assume I'm going to be here tomorrow. I don't care how much I want to will into existence I'm waking up tomorrow. God didn't promise me tomorrow. So at the end of the day, I can will into existence all day long. I will write this wrong tomorrow, but it's not guaranteed to me to be here. So my mindset is there are things, as much as we may believe in ourselves and want to control things, we don't. So I can't personally, for me, make arbitrary statements dismissing everybody else if I respect what they can do and know they're talented as well. All I can do is focus on me and hone my craft and do the very best I can. But I can't guarantee that my best is better than you, or my best is better than Dre, or my best is better than Cletus or Candy or Rico or anybody else. I can just do the best I can do. And that's what my statement was about, as opposed to I'm trying to shoot a shot at Gates. And I'm saying this to Gates, not for Gates necessarily, but for everybody else watching the show is going to think, man, Ty's taking subliminals. No, I'm not.
Oh, no. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I know I'm notorious for it. Yeah, I'm notorious for it.
But that's why our show works, because we have different dichotomies.
I'm notorious for it, and it motivates people. Like, exactly. Even week one, I was like, bro, like it's only week one. We'll play that game again in the playoffs. And he's like, I'm looking forward to it already. Like we're already like, you know what I'm saying? We're just motivation for real.
Sure,
it's definitely motivation.
So Drew, you have the option, sir. Well, actually, I take that back. Going back to Gates, I chose not to get it together for anybody because I don't think it's fair to call somebody after 1 week. You just rebutted what I said, Gates, but you have the option of going get it together and give it a final thought for you.
I want the vets to really, I want the lower tier guys to really like figure out a way to like, not lower tier, like. I feel like it was super competitive early on. I just want that consistency to be the same. Like I'm cool with like I don't want it to be things like Doc beat the Bucks to be lightning strike once or twice. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be like like this to like how we say Ty, your division's up in the air. I want every division to be like it can go either way every season. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I really want. Like people to be like. The Raiders, where you say like, if you show me something, I don't want people to look at the Raiders and be like, oh, that's an easy win on my schedule every season. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be consistency of like competition and things of that nature. And not to say that they're not really competing. I just want it to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like every year it could be anybody who's going to the Super Bowl. I don't want it to seem like it's top heavy on this side or top heavy on that side. So,
hey, real quick, before we get to Drew. Cletus just wanted me to let you know in so many words, Drew, you heard what you said about who's going to win this division. And I'll leave it at that. Now, Drew, what's your problem? You'll get it together.
Y'all know me. I'm a self-centered, cocky kind of guy. I want myself to make the playoffs last year for the first time ever in this league. Even if not even as a wild card, I was 6-10. I want myself to get together. Yeah, right now as early as 2-0, but what I kind of got going, I want to keep it going. Towards the tail end of the last season, I kind of started to get it together a little bit. I think I won like 4 of my last 6 games. I want to keep that going, keep that momentum pushing, and just keep playing my brand of football and rebuild and put a new name to the no-fly zone, which I started. I don't know if y'all remember that But I started that when I had Jacksonville, the no-fly zone thing, and then it just took
I
off for everybody
remember.
else who think they get interceptions. Like right now, I don't know if we get into that part, if we almost done, but I got 11 interceptions in 2 weeks. I want to keep that pushing and keep it going. So I'm on my own list. I got my own get it together list. I need to make the playoffs this year.
Man, what a show. Great contribution. Definitely glad to get you on, Drew. Gates, great comments as usual. Great topics. Great way to move the show forward. We're happy with the show, man. I want to apologize to Gates and to some of the folks in the league. I know a lot of times you guys hit me up in DMs and you hit Gates up when you jump in the chat. When are we gonna have a show? I will tell you guys, Gates has been more than willing to try to put out shows at a more regular clip. And lately, the last 2 or 3 times, he's been waiting on me, and I've been the reason why we haven't had the show. So to keep it real with everybody, Gates has been on his grind. It ain't Gates putting the kids to sleep and all this other shit. It's been me. Well, because the main thing is, ties were locked and lower. Gates, no, the holdup's with me. So I want to apologize to Gates because Gates has been very active in asking me on a few different occasions, hey man, can you pop up? Can we do a show? Or Gates has been on it, fellas. I love doing the show. I liked it. Folks enjoy the show and have good commentary. I like it, stirs up things, and I like that Gates has been on it. I'm going to try to do better about being more consistent to matching Gates' intensity to put the shows out in a more regular clip. Thank you, Gates, for being dedicated and on the grind and for soliciting guests and for pushing me to put out shows on a more regular basis. And apologies to the folks for not necessarily being as on it as Gates is out the gate.
No, that's not good. I mean, you preached about me being consistent with doing the show, so I just been trying to do that and not fall into that rhythm of not trying to do it and things of that nature. I'm gonna say my last play of the game or my final thoughts is, again, I just want to have a good season. I think we had a really good season. Competition level was up last season. I want that to just keep going forward. It'd be really interesting to see how these cap things, and I feel like how these players are all going to be shifted around. The 4th trade was going to be huge. I don't know how many people think it's not going to be, but to have that 4th trade is going to be like game changer, especially for the guys who wheel and deal and stuff a lot. So,
But Pie is probably gonna have a wet dream when he hears that.
Yeah, so that's a lot of football left for those.
The Bullet was sitting there like Boone's famous Stevie J meme, where he's like this. Yeah. That was John the Bullet. Y'all give me a 4th trade.
Yeah, sure. So it'll be really interesting to see how that all plays out. I'm looking forward to this year, man. For me, I'm all in. It's always like Super Bowl or bust. I got too many salaries I got to be signed to be falling short this season.
Yeah.
So, Drew?
Yeah, I'm just hoping to make the playoffs this year and get back to my competitive ways. Dre, I'm coming for you. I got you next week. Mr. $250 million man had 4 interceptions today. Looking to keep everything going. And good luck to everybody. Hope everybody stays competitive and stays active.
Yeah,
for sure.
It should be fun.
I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I'm gonna try to get the Super Bowl winner on here. Dre, your trophy's on the way. Man of my word, I swear I'll sponsor the first trophy. So when he gets it, for sure, I'm trying to get him to come on the show, talk about it, show it all. Figure out who we want to try to win the trophy for year 2.
Sure.
So, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Ty, we at the 2-hour mark like always. Guess it's time to get up out of here.
2 hours. That's one thing. I've never done this show and this went to song and I'm like, oh my God, I wish this is over with. It's so boring. I always be like, man, we could just keep going.
Yeah.
You know what? I definitely do want to say this last thing and then I'm out. I need to. It's Wednesday, but it's Taco Tuesday in my mind. I need to eat me some tacos, bro. But a lot of gang hot sauce. But I want to keep it going with the guests, and I want to try to get who popped in my mind? He's pretty active. I want to try to get Truck on the show.
Okay.
We got Drew. I like trying to get folks that don't often get a chance to have a platform and speak up, as opposed to, like, I love having Cleats on the show, but we've had him a few times. So I definitely like getting the Drews and the Trucks and stuff of the world, you know, guys that we don't really get a chance to give a platform to, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I know John the Bullet said he would like to get on once.
That'd be great. See, yeah, that's another one. That's exactly what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll work on trying to get some
Good
more.
contributions and good info there, Drew. I appreciate it, bro. I know you. Congrats on the little one you got coming too, by the way. Maybe the little one's already. But then again, if the little one's already here, then again, if the little one was already here, you wouldn't be on the show, brother. You have your hands full right now.
She with mama, so it's all right. She gave me some time to be by myself.
Okay, good, man. Congrats on that, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right. I appreciate you guys for joining. I appreciate everybody else for tuning in. USFL Owners Box, myself, Ty, and then Drew. We're gonna get up out of here. See you guys episode 40.
Late.
Peace.
All right.